All right, what's going on, guys? So today, or rather tonight, since it's night when I'm recording this, I'm gonna show y'all how I mixed Kọja. I really enjoy doing the mixing video for Pre-Night Clarity, and Kọja is like my favorite project, and I chose all the tone myself, mixed it myself, and everything. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I like doing that mixing video. So I'm just going to show y'all how I mixed Kọja, or how I mix it. So when I say mixing, I just mean finding good tones and making sure all the volumes are even. I don't know how to master. I don't know how to do anything super crazy or technical. If I need that, I just send it to my buddy at Gray Engine Studios, and he takes care of all that for me. So I do not know how to master, and when I say mix, I just mean getting volumes right and getting tones, because probably at least, well, probably more than half of my music is unmastered, and I just mix it really well and release it. Like my whole Tony D. Kage album was mixed, not mastered. The whole first Kọja EP was just mixed and not mastered. So, just keeping it in my wheelhouse and my skill set. I don't really want to learn how to master. I don't plan on ever doing that. So usually a good mix will get everything, you know, ironed out pretty well enough for release. Nothing like super crazy professional that a record label signed me for, but still something, good enough. All right, so here we have a flood of reapers. The whole song. From the drum parts, we got two different kick tracks here. We got kick one, kick two, we got snare, toms, we got bells, cymbals, bass, lead guitar one, lead guitar two, solo guitar one, solo guitar one, solo guitar two. So 3 solo guitar tracks. Don't know why I didn't put solo guitar 3 there. Oh, because one's harmonies, that's why. So we got rhythm guitar, we got guitar 3 for some extra beef and chunk. We got vocals 1, vocals 2, vocals 3, vocals 4. So I'm going to show y'all pretty much how I took it from this to this. All right, so first of all, let's go with the kick, right? So one of the things I did, I don't have like an insanely expensive like drum kit on here. Like I have like a easy mix guitar tones, and then I'll have is like the I'll show it to you right here, the MT Power Manda kit. This is all I really got. So here listening to that, that's that's that, but that definitely doesn't sound, doomy, I would say. So this is pretty much the stock kick here. Oh, let me turn the metronome off. So this is much the kick right here. Hold on. Whoops, what did I do? Why can't I hear that? Why can't I hear the drums? Whoops, it's because this isn't on. Haha. Okay. There we go. So pretty much without the effects, you don't really hear too much difference, but yeah, let me turn it up a little bit and I'll show y'all. It's like 5 in the morning, so I'm trying not to be super loud, but also it's like, don't really care because I've wanted to film this video for a while. But anyway, I'm rambling. So this is the kick without, any kind of effect on it here. Like I said, you're not gonna hear too much difference, but I needed something just a little more powerful, just like a teeny bit. So I went to the digital drum compressor here. And let's see, I got the threshold at -20, ratio at 20, attack. Most of this, I believe, is stock presets. Let me see if I actually get digital drum compressor. Let's see. JS. digital drum compressor. So yeah, so this is a stock setting. So yeah, I actually changed nothing except that, and I put this nowhere. Okay, so yeah, actually didn't change really like anything for real. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much just stock on the digital drum compressor. So that'll take the sound from this to this right here. Again, doesn't do much, just makes it a little like thicker and a little more beefy. And then we got the bass manager booster here. Let me see what I did to that. Oh, oopsie. Oh man. Okay, well that's why we got 2 tracks. I'm not gonna say what it is anyway, so that's a regular track. Oh wow. Okay, well never mind. Totally. Actually, no, let me go here. So let me see what I did here with the kick. So bass manager booster. Let me add another one. JS bass manager booster. So yeah, it didn't actually change too much there. Oh, this is stock right here, as you can see. So I did something there. I don't remember what I did exactly. Like I said, I don't really know like a bunch of technical terms, but I guess I moved these faders over till I just found a sound I like. Like it wasn't really, oh, I know exactly what to do. I wanted to have a particular sound, and it literally took me about hours to just figure out all the tones and sounds I wanted. So that's pretty much what I did for the drums. Like I said, nothing like super crazy, and I'm not like technical enough to properly explain it, but that's how the drums came about like that. So now we'll go to the snare, and where's the first snare hit? So of course, you know, you got, you know, boop, boop. And then, so this is your stock snare. Oh wow, I forgot to click all the way over here. And then, so bass manager booster, put the frequency at 90 hertz there, put the dB boost at 8.74, the drive 77.5, 62.25, and put the output right even at 0. Left all the high pass limiters over sample off. So that took it from this to this right here. Now that sounded good to me, but it still sounded a little bit more industrial, like maybe a little more like, maybe a little, okay, I kind of want to say it something like the kind of Static X, like the trash can sound from Saint Anger, but I was like, it needs something a little more echoey or something like that, you know? So I went to this right here, just trying it out. And so this is the VST, the redelay by Cuckoos. I don't know how to pronounce it, but put it at a time of 0.5 milliseconds. Put the length, you know, 0. Feedback minus 6.1 dB. Put the low pass filter at 10.368 hertz. High pass at 150. The resolution at 24 bits. And I put the stereo width at 1. And volume at minus 1.3. So that gave me the echoey, kind of ethereal, spooky-ish sound I want. So I took it from here. And then went to here. And once again, another thing I actually learned getting tones for this, because this actually inspired me to have tone packs for like Kọja, Project Schism, YMFS. I learned how, in like, you know, I've learned this live pretty much, but recording how things don't necessarily sound the best by themselves, but when you get them together and everything blends, it's all really, really, really nice. So I actually liked that sound, and once I played it with, you know, the kicks here, you know, it actually did blend pretty well. Because, you know, you always start with the drums, and then I do the bass, and then I do the rhythm guitars, and I do the keys, and I do the solos, and I do the vocals, build like that. So once I played them all together, you know, I stacked them, and then I was like, okay, this actually sounds pretty good. Let me turn these off, because if I actually try to play this all the tones on, my computer's gonna fucking blow up. All right. And so right here we got the toms. So we're gonna turn this on. I'm gonna go here, and we're gonna turn all these off. So this is what the tom sounds like stock. Yeah, it's actually, if you look at it, there's two different tom sounds. You have, so they're actually the same sound, just doubled, just because I needed, like I said, a little more oomph. I really wanted this to be like a really thick, atmospheric type sounding project or whatever, because I made it during COVID, when I was out of work for 5 weeks and stuff. So I really wanted to make it like huge and thick and chunky and all-consuming, which, I have all-consuming thunder right here. Interesting how that rolled around. So what I wanted to do here was I really wanted to make the toms just boom, and you can always, get like a low tom or something like that, or like pair them with the kick to make it sound real heavy and stuff, but I didn't really want to do that. So I was like, okay, let me see what I can do here. So what I did was I went to Reverbate, and I made the room size 33, put a 7 on the dampening, stereo width at 1. The initial delay I put at 45 milliseconds just because I liked the give it gave me, as far as it made it a little bit easier to mix once I actually had everything toned out. And then a low pass put at 7902 hertz and a high pass 152. So that took it from this to this right here. And as you can see, it is clipping, but that actually ended up not being a problem later on. Again, that's why I put the low pass and the initial delay as it was. So then we went to the reed delay, which I used for the snare. And then I had length at 0 milliseconds, musical length at 0.50. I had the feedback minus 15.4 dB. Then I had the low pass 3411, high pass 72, resolution 24, and stereo width at 1. And then that took it from this to this right here. And that really was like, okay, this sounds really cool. Sounds really ethereal. Kind of like, in horror movies where they have that kind of like, that just sounds really, really, kind of doomy and kind of like something approaching you and stuff. So I was like, okay, it sounds really, really good. So I was like, what can I do? Because that's still not enough. Because it's not going to stand out enough with the kick and the snare. And it sounds kind of just like the kick. So what can I do to really make that stand out, right? So I went to the reverb, right? And this, first of all, just looking at this is like, it's also like some really cool, bright, vibrant rainbow thing. And I'm making new metal here. So I put the reverb generator on and the echo generator. So for the reverb, starting position at 0. And then I put the length at 864 milliseconds, right? My volume, I put it plus 15 dB. Like I said, this was interesting to try to mix, but like I said, it actually ended up working out pretty well in the end. So room size at 94, dampening at 70, stereo width at -1. And then I put the echo generator on. I think there's something on here that I only use one of these on, but I put the echo generator on as well. Had a starting position at 6 milliseconds, the length at 61 milliseconds, speaking at 1.7 milliseconds, the error, I don't know what that is, at 4.4 milliseconds, and the error, I don't know what that is either, 0.50. And the starting volume at 0 and the end volume at -334. So this is what that sounds like without it. And this is what it sounds like with it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that was really, really cool. And then I was like, I still want something a little bit more, just a little bit more. So I went to, like I said, I tried every VST, every JS, everything I had. I really, really dug in because I was in quarantine for 5 weeks. I had time. So, the delay with chorus right here. Had the delay, funny enough, at 0, feedback decibels, and the output decibels, wet, coarse, and clean, all at -6. That's really satanic. I gotta change that. And output dry at 0, chorus period 400 plus, 400.6, and the chorus length at 16 milliseconds. So without it, this is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like with it. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely gonna punch through. Differentiates it from the kick, has good enough volume, cuts through. And you're gonna hear it even if you hear the kick and the snare and the tom hit at the same time, which I don't think I do in any of these Kọja songs, but whatever, sounds great. So that's that. And then next we're gonna do the bells, which you hear a lot more of these in like Abyss and stuff, but I think you hear them a little bit here. So yeah, not super big amount of bells, but let's see. So yeah, I didn't do much here. Don't turn that one off. So this is what they sound like. And then like I just wanted a little bit louder because you know that's what we're doing here. So volume adjustment, I just put it at like 15 dB, and then that just, you can just, yeah. That's all I did with that. Nothing crazy with that one. And then when I say cymbals, it's usually, so like I said, I don't have like the highest tier drum kit, but I also don't really necessarily differentiate between like cymbals all the time. If I have like a specific hi-hat track, I will, but if it's like a ride or a crash or whatever, I'll just put it as a cymbal and then I'll just figure it out when I put it in the DAW. So cymbals, it could be ride, crash, or just any real cymbal, whatever. So, yeah, just generic cymbals. For some reason, like I'm not a drummer, so I don't really like necessarily put a hi-hat in there a lot because, like I said, I'm not a drummer. But yeah, cymbals for sure. So cymbals, got a drum kit. Standard. You can also kind of hear how that's like two different cymbals at once, because for some reason every time I use the drums I have to use both those cymbals to have like a powerful enough sound to like cut through enough to not have to do a bunch of multi-tracking or insane volume adjustment. But that's the cymbals, you know, right there. And then add the volume adjustment on there, just got up 21 dB. As you can see, that just like shatters glass of your eardrums right there. So yeah, super duper loud. And then I was like, that sounds a little too harsh, a little too black metally, a little too dry for me. So went to reverb, and then I have echo generator on and filter low pass, high pass on. So I put the high pass at 669 and then the low pass at 18889. Yeah, that actually looks ridiculous now I'm looking back at it, but that's what it did. And then echo generator, starting position at 74 milliseconds, length 923 milliseconds, spacing at 7.6 milliseconds, error at 3.6 milliseconds. Again, whatever that means, at 0.50, starting volume minus 3.2 dB, and in volume 44 dB. 44, I don't know why Alex, I thought it was going 440, but it don't. So this was go from this, turn it down a little bit, to this. Again, not necessarily a huge difference, just a little bit more oomph, less dryness, just a teeny bit less dryness, and a little more pronunciation on the cymbals there. And that's the drum track right there. This video is like 20 minutes long, so I'm gonna do the drums, and I'll do, I guess, the bass and guitars, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guitars and bass, and then I'll do vocals, and then I'll probably just do, well, no keys in this song, so I probably won't do the key track, but I might do it just as a little, yeah, vocals and keys. I'll do vocals and keys. So yeah, sorry I don't have like a lot of technical proper knowledge to properly explain what I'm doing here, but I just enjoy mixing, and one of my buddies actually did a while ago, back during COVID, say he wants to see me mix a song. So here you go, Terrell. But yeah, y'all like this video, y'all can like, comment, subscribe, and thank y'all for watching, and rock on.